Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Shifa Asafira and this is my 11th video for Literal reading class. Let me begin. Teaching narrative reading by using the subtext strategy for Islamic senior high school student. In Indonesia, English is very important to be mastered. Matrina and Madam 2011 state that English language teaching becomes increasingly important as the first foreign language in Indonesia. Therefore, the government requires that all schools in Indonesia, especially at the high school level, to make English as one of subject tested in the national examination. Meaning at all 2018. According to Lauder 2008, it is widely recognized that English is important for Indonesia, and the reason most frequently put forward to English is that English is a global international language. Reading has an important role in English. According to Anderson 2003, reading is an essential skill for learners of English. For most of learners, it is most important skill to master in order to ensure success in learning. With stranger reading skill, learners of English tend to make greater progress in other areas of language learning. In addition, Abdullah Sebabati, Tin Tempen, and Hassan 2012 state that reading is the most integral part in language learning. Students will strengthen reading skill, will be able to progress and attain greater development in all academic areas. Furthermore, according to McCauley and Jeffries, 1998, reading English is important for some reasons, such as 1. Reading in English helps students learn to think in English. 2. Reading in English helps students build their English vocabulary. And 3. Reading in English makes students more comfortable with writing in English. That is why by reading, students can increase their knowledge and ability in English. Meaning et al. 2019, Nazarti et al. 2019. Literature review, reading comparison and narrative text. Reading comparison and narrative text. Reading comparison is the main purpose of reading activity. All readers intend to have connection to the material that they read. Of course, the process of reading comparison is also complex and it takes time for a reader to acquire the meaning of the reading material. According to Dorn and Soft 2005, comparing envelopes, interpreting and synthesizing ideas in way that influence the reader's mind. The readers need to be able to figure out the outer purpose presenting the material. Comparing some valuable information stated in the passage in relation to comparing to overall content of reading materials. Furthermore, Westwood 2008 state that reading comparison can be defined as an active thinking process through which a reader intentionally constructs meaning to form a deeper understanding of concept and information present in a text. Reading comparison is reading the text to get the meaning and understanding of the text. Woolley 2011 explained that reading comparison in the process of making meaning from the text. Reading comparison is reading the text to get the meaning. From the definition above, it can be assumed that reading comparison is an iterative process between reader and text to compare the writer's message. Narrative is text type that tells about story, whether true story, problematic personal experience, or fictional. However, the general purpose of narrative text is to entertain and engage text. It's supported by Knapp and Watkins 2005, who adds the narrative has a powerful social role beyond that of beyond that of being a medium for entertainment, and it also a powerful media for changing social options and attitudes. Lingan, 2005, explained that narrative is storytelling, whether relating a single story or several related ones. Through narration, a statement can be clear by relating in details with something happened. Next, subtext strategy. Several theories about subtext strategy have been stated by a number of experts. Leland Lawson and Hertes 2014 defined that subtext strategy helps students to identify meanings that are not explicitly stated in text. It takes students to think about the various characters in a story with subtext, strategy, engagement in making personal connection, developing increasing strategic inferencing skill, emphasizing with characters, and understanding perspective different from their own. Subtext strategy enables students to reflect critically on text and writing by developing deeply into their own thoughts and feeling as they consider the situation characters. Methods, reach, research designs, research sites, and participants. This study used a quasi-experimental design, pre-test process, and process pattern non-equivalent group design. There are two groups, experimental and control group, which was given the same pretest and process. The experimental group was given treatment by using subtext energy, but the control group was not. The population of this research was 11th grade of MA Patra Mandiri Palembang, one of Islamic Senior High School in Palembang. Meanwhile, the samples were taken by using convenience sampling. Data collection and analysis. In this study, we use reading comparison tests in the form of multiple choice to collect the data. The test items in the pre-test were the same as those of post-test because of purpose of giving them was to know the progress of student. Reading comparison scores before and after treatments. Pre-test was given before the treatment. The purpose of giving pre-test to the student was to know the student English reading comparison scores before implementing subtext strategy. Meanwhile, post-test was given after the treatment. Post-test was administered to know the student English comparison scores after implementing subtext energy. The result of this test was compared to the result of pre-test in order to measure the student's progress taught by using subtext energy. The data analysis technique used was qualitative. In analyzing the data obtained for quasi-experimental design were calculated by means of SPSS 20 software, statistical package for the social sciences, in order to see whether there was a significant influence before and after were treated by subtext energy. Findings: the distribution of frequency data. In distribution of frequency data, score, frequency, and percentage were analyzed. The scores were obtained from 1. Pre-test scores in control group, 2. Post-test score in the control group, 3. Pre-test scores in experimental group, and 4. The post-test score in experimental group. The conclusion is there are some conclusions that can be drawn for this research referring to the finding and interpretation presented in previous chapter. First, based on the result of pre-test to post-test, subtext strategy significantly improved students' reading comparison score to 11th grade student of one Islamic senior high school in Palembang. Second, there was significant difference on students' reading comparison score to 11th grade students who were taught by using subtext strategy and those who were taught by strategy that was usually used by the teacher of one Islamic senior high school in Palembang. Therefore, it can be inferred that the teaching reading comparison is in narrative text by using subtext strategy can be considered as an alternative strategy that can be used. Maybe that's all for my video today. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.